Dining out should always be an enjoyable experience, and this is especially true when guests are looking forward to ordering a juicy steak cooked exactly the way they like it. A fresh, properly cooked steak is what every guest deserves and expects, and nothing can be more frustrating for the guests, serving staff, and chef than receiving a beautiful cut of beef that's either cold, dried out, overcooked, or over-seasoned. We've put together this guide to help you cook a perfect steak every time to ensure that your guests keep coming back and tell others what a great experience they have at your restaurant. So let's cut to the chase. Creating a great steak can be broken down into 4 key components: quality, storage and handling, cooking, and presentation. The best chefs in the world can't save a steak that hasn't met these 4 important criteria. Receiving steaks is the first opportunity to ensure quality, and there's an easy checklist of important things to look for. Locate the production table, usually found on the end of the package. Double-check it against your invoice. Check the grade, cut, and weight before signing the invoice. When receiving fresh steaks, check to make sure that none of the seals have been punctured or damaged and that the correct temperature has been maintained during shipment. Never ever accept any steak boxes that have been damaged or are not up to the specifications you ordered. Satisfied that the delivery is in order, fresh steaks should be stored in the coldest area of your cooler, towards the back and the bottom shelf, best suited for storing beef at the proper temperature. If you're using frozen steaks, they should arrive frozen and be kept frozen until needed. It takes a minimum of 24 hours for them to thaw properly in your cooler, and like fresh steaks, they have a best before date shelf life and should be rotated so that the first in steaks are also the first out. As steaks are required, transfer them promptly from the storage cooler to your line cooler, where they can be stored until needed. As your steaks are ordered, transfer them from your vacuum packaging onto a clean preparation surface, where excessive purge can be removed before placing on your seasoning pan. Keeping your steak safe from contamination is imperative at all times, and once the vacuum package is opened, your steaks will only have a 2-day shelf life. If you're using frozen steaks and need more in a hurry, we recommend that you place the vacuum-sealed steaks under cold running water, where they can defrost quickly and safely. Never use a microwave and never use hot water for defrosting. Food safety is at the top of everyone's mind, as it should be on yours. Cooking a steak to the guest's satisfaction always takes practice and skill for any chef. Correct steak doneness is always dependent on the server's communication with the guest and accurate order to the kitchen. One person's rare can be another person's nightmare. Now it's your job to master the desired doneness level. There are 4 proven methods to help guide you. The Rule of Thumb Touch Guide is a good first step in determining how to cook a steak properly. Open your hand wide, then put your index finger to your thumb to create an OK sign. Now with your other index finger, press the muscle just below the thumb on your palm. This is the feel of a rare steak. Now change the index finger to the middle finger and press again. This is the feel of a medium rare steak. The ring finger indicates a medium well steak and the pinky a well done steak. Practicing this technique will also help you with your visual assessment of the steak during grilling and assist you in preparing several steak orders during busy peak hours. The visual test starts once you've turned the steaks over and observe any juices bubbling or pooling on the surface. A rare steak will be ready before any of the juices appear, and a medium rare steak will be ready just as the juices start to appear. When you see small amounts of juices pooling in the steak, it's been cooked medium. As the juices stop pooling, the steak has been cooked medium well, and as the juices start to cook, the steak becomes well done. Using a temperature probe, check the internal temperature of the steak. Blue rare will be less than 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 Celsius. For rare, 140 Fahrenheit or 60 Celsius. Medium rare, 145 Fahrenheit or 63 Celsius. Medium, 160 Fahrenheit or 71 Celsius. Medium well, 165 Fahrenheit or 74 Celsius. Well done, 170 Fahrenheit or 77 Celsius. Remember, steaks continue to cook once removed from the grill, so allow an extra 5 degrees to meet the preferred doneness. While broilers are designed to dispense an even heat, the back of the burner is often much hotter than the front. Knowing the heating patterns of your broiler is very important in helping you determine cooking times for consistently perfect preparation. Take time to test cooking time and temperatures of cuts with different thickness to ensure the exact doneness every time. Keeping your broiler clean will ensure accurate grilling and maximize on flavor. Using a grill brush to scrub off all of the burnt char should be followed by prepping the grill with a little oil to prevent sticking. How you place the steak on the grill will determine the grill marks that are very much a part of the visual appeal of the steak, and as you know, guests always eat with their eyes first. The minimum temperature for grilling steaks is between 450 to 550 degrees Fahrenheit, or between 220 to 280 degrees Celsius. The hotter, the better. Checking your broiler temperature and keeping your broiler clean will ensure proper grilling and maximum flavors. Using the Beef Information Center's doneness poster will help you maintain cooking consistency and best possible presentation. Blue Rare steak is seared on the outside, but completely red on the inside throughout. A rare steak is seared on the outside and only 75% red through the center. A medium rare steak is seared with 50% red through the center. A medium steak is seared with 25% red. A medium well has a slight hint of pink. Well done steak will have 100% brown. Remember to never cut open a steak to check its doneness. You should be able to tell by what you see during the cooking process, and remember the 4 methods to check for doneness. When you receive an order for 2 equally thick steaks, one rare and one well done, you can use the hotter zone for the well done steak. The cooking time for both steaks will be close to the same time, and one meal will not have to wait for the other. It's also helpful to use thicker cuts of beef for rare requests and thinner portions for well-done orders. The best results for juiciness and tenderness will be from a steak that's cooked no more than medium. There are a few important steps to review in cooking a steak to perfection. Make sure the surface of the steak is dry. If not, pat the steak dry with a clean, lint-free paper towel, and if you haven't oiled the grill, brush the steak with oil. Place the fat cap up and to the back at a 45-degree angle to the broiler grid. Flip the steak after approximately halfway cooked. Turn the steak 90 degrees to achieve the diamond markings. This will be face down on the broiler. After 90 seconds, feel the texture of the steak with your tongs, remembering the rule of thumb touch test. If further cooking is required, flip the steak for a final time for cooking to medium well. Look for the juices on the steak to help you determine the doneness. When correct doneness is reached, remove the steak from the grill. Let it rest for a few moments on either the plate or side of the grill to allow the juices to work back into the meat tissue, so the steak is served tender and juicy. Keep in mind that it will continue to cook as it stands waiting for service to the guest. Timing is critical. Cooking a steak to perfection is an art, and ultimately, it's the guest's satisfaction that will reward your efforts. There are no shortcuts and definitely some no-nos that should be avoided during cooking. For example, never press on the steak to speed up cooking. This will cause the moisture to run out of the steak instead of keeping it juicy. The less you handle the steak, the more moisture it retains. Don't try to speed up the process by covering your steak with a pan or lid. This stifles the grilling process and diminishes the steak's natural texture. Avoid over-seasoning at all costs. Assaulting a guest's palate with too much seasoning will ruin the entire dining experience. The guest can always add seasoning at the table or ask the server to have the chef do it. Once the steak is properly cooked, it's ready for that defining moment. Presentation to the guest. Plating with the fat cap away from your guest provides maximum visual appeal and ensures that their first cut into the juicy steak will be effortless and enjoyable. Doneness is one of the most important aspects of a great steak experience. As a chef, you're responsible for delivering the desired doneness to the guest. Guests will reward your restaurant with their loyalty and word-of-mouth promotion. Following these guidelines will make you the master of the grill.